Hi guys, this is Luan Skaggs and welcome to the channel. Now for this project we'll be using these skewers. Now we want to find the halfway point of the skewer. I'm using this flower mesh shape wrap to find the halfway point, but you guys could use a measuring tape. Now I'm bending my flower mesh shape wrap in half and I'm cutting it so that I could use that to find the halfway point. Once you get your halfway point, you want to cut your skewers in half and line up the 2 points and then make sure that all the skewers is the same length. Now once you have the same length on one, you could use that to get the rest of the measurement for the shorter skewers. Now we'll be gluing on these 2-inch mirrors to the top of our skewers. Now we'll be using these mini silver spoons that comes 24 in a pack from the Dollar Tree, and you could just take them and break them with your hands. It's very simple and easy to break. Now we'll be taking the head part of the spoon and we'll be putting glue on the top and at the bottom. Now we'll be gluing the top part to the mirror and the bottom part to the skewer. Now for the shorter piece, we'll be gluing on 6 flower mesh shape wrap onto the skewer. And we want to pass our hand over it just to make sure that it comes out straight with the mirror. Now for the longer skewers at the top, we'll repeat the same process, and then we'll be using 17 of the flower mesh shape wrap and we'll be gluing that onto the skewer. Now we'll be making 16 of the large ones and 16 of the small ones. Now this is the position in which we'll be gluing down our skewers. We'll start with 8. And then we'll go in and we'll be gluing down another 8. Now once we're finished gluing on the longer pieces, we'll come in with these shorter pieces and we'll be gluing these in between the longer pieces. Now when you're gluing on the second layer, the hot glue activates the first layer and the whole thing becomes undone, so you have to keep your hands there for a while. So later on I came up with the idea to stack a bunch of circles and place those down on them as weights to keep them down while they are drying, so I could move on to the other side. And that's what you'll see me doing here. Once you're finished gluing on all your pieces, you want to go back in with some E6000 and you want to place it all around the pieces just to make sure that you have a strong hold. Now cut a piece of cardboard a little smaller than the mirror and then glue it in the back of the mirror. Now I'm going to be using this hook that I took off from a Dollar Tree mirror, and I'm going to use a combination of E6000 and hot glue. I'm going to put the E6000 in the middle and some hot glue on the ends to hold it in place. Now once your piece is dry, you could hang your beautiful mirror on the wall. Now we are starting off with these spoons. They are 24 in a pack. It's the small dessert spoons, and we're going to be breaking off the top of the head, and we would be using the stem of the spoons for this part of the project. Now we would put some glue on the top part of the smooth side of the spoon, and we're going to attach that to the back side of the middle of the other spoon. Now once this piece is dry, we would take another stem and we would put some glue on the top of this as well, and we would stick this in the middle part of the bottom part of the piece that we already glued. Now once this is finished drying, we would start the other set. We would repeat the process, but we would use this as a template. We would put some glue on another stem and we would place it down on top of the piece that we already did, just to make sure that we have the right shape. And we would hold it here until it's dry. Once it's dried in that shape, we could put some glue on the other piece and we're going to stick that in place as well, holding it according to the other piece. Once we're finished, we'll repeat this process for 16 pieces. Once we're finished with our 16 pieces, we'll turn our piece over and we'll glue 2 of the pieces together like this, top and bottom. Now we are going to take 2 of the stems and glue them together, wrong sides facing each other. We're going to put some glue 3/4 ways to the top and right at the bottom. We'll put the glue on it and glue it together. Once we have finished gluing all of our pieces together, we'll take the first piece that we glued and glue the one that we just finished gluing into the middle of the first piece. Then we'll make sure that it's completely centered. Now we'll take these rhinestones that we also picked up from the Dollar Tree and cover up all these points that we joined. Now we'll take the top of the spoon and we'll be gluing on a rhinestone right at the point where we cut the spoon. Now we'll take these craft sticks, we'll cut them in half so that we could glue it behind our project. This would just give us much more stability and it would give us something to glue to the mirror. Now this is how we are going to be arranging our pieces onto the mirror. Now we want to make sure and have even space all the way around. Once we're finished with that, we would take out one piece at a time and glue it onto the mirror. Now we'll do this all the way around. Now we'll take a piece of cardboard, we'll put our mirror onto it and draw the shape of our mirror. Now we'll cut inside the line that we just drew so that we'll have a smaller piece of cardboard. Now we're going to glue the cardboard to the back of the mirror. Once we've finished gluing the cardboard to the back of the mirror, I'm going to be using this hook that I took off from one of the Dollar Tree mirrors. Now I'll be using a combination of E6000 glue and the glue stick to stick it in place. Now you could use command strips, you could use any hook that you want to hang it on your wall. This is just what I'm going to be using. Now I left this to dry overnight and then I came back in the morning and I gave it a good shake just to make sure that it's nice and sturdy. Then I turned it around and I shook it again and yes, it is very sturdy. Now just for some added security and to finish neatening up the mirror, we're going to glue the head of the spoon to the middle part of our design. And this is the way that we're going to arrange them, and once we're finished arranging them like this, we would glue them down to the mirror. Now once we're finished gluing it down to the mirror, our 100% Dollar Tree glam mirror is finished. Now I love how this mirror turned out. Now tell me down in the comment section down below if this is something you'd like to try out. Now for this mirror, we'll be using this flower mesh shape wrap. Now we'll be cutting this flower rhinestones into strips like this. Then we'll be cutting 2 of the flowers for the short spoons and 4 of the flowers for the long spoons. Now we'll take 2 of the flowers that we cut and we'll glue it onto the spoon. Once we're finished gluing it onto the spoon, we'll cut the spoon leaving about an inch so that we could glue it onto the mirror. Now for the long spoon, we'll glue 4 flowers onto the spoon. Now we need 16 of the long and 16 of the short spoons. Now to make sure that the spaces come out nice and even, I drew a circle onto a piece of paper half an inch wider than the mirror. And once we cut out the circle, we're going to fold the circle into half. Then we are going to fold it into quarter. Once we have it into quarter, we're going to unfold the quarter and fold the edge of the quarter into the middle. Then take the other edge and fold that into the middle as well. Now that we have 8 seams, we would take the 2 closest seams, line them up with each other, and then fold the paper into half and make another seam in the middle. We'll do that for all of the seams until we have 16 seams. Now we'll take a pen and highlight our 16 seams. This just makes it easier to see when we are gluing down our spoons. Now we'll take our mirror and place it onto our paper, front side facing down. Once we have our mirror centered, we'll start placing the shorter spoons. Now this is how we'll be positioning the first layer of spoons. Now we'll glue these into place and then we'll start the other layer. Now we are going to glue the rest of the shorter spoons in the middle of the spoons that we already glued. Now we are going to glue the longer spoons in between the shorter spoons. Now you won't be able to glue the longer spoons directly on top of the shorter spoons. You'll need to push the flowers of the longer spoons underneath the flowers of the shorter spoons, and that's the way it would be able to fit nicely on the mirror. Now you may not be able to see that from the video here, but when you're doing it, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Now we do this all the way around our mirror, and we're almost finished with putting together this mirror. Now once I'm finished gluing the spoons into place, I'm going to be using this cardboard that I took off from another Dollar Tree mirror, and I'm going to draw a circle around one of the hooks, and that's how I'm going to hang this mirror on the wall. Now if you don't have a board like this, you could cut a piece of cardboard and stick it in place, then use a command strip or double-sided tape or anything you choose to hang it on the wall. But this is how I'm going to hang it on the wall. Now we'll just glue the cardboard into place and our beautiful wall mirror is ready. Now I'd love to know in the comment section down below which mirror you like. Mirror number 1, mirror number 2, or mirror number 3. So thanks for taking the time out to watch this video. You have a blessed and awesome day. Now if you like this video, you may also like these as well. See you in the next one.